Hey everyone, welcome to Two Guys Making Tribe, where Gen X meets Gen Y. Enjoy the show.
And people looking at it from the lens, well, I'll do X, Y, Z, and I'll have animals or this or that. And there's a large fascination in this country with animals, especially with people that are single.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, how do you feed that animal? Okay. So it's one thing you have your domesticated animals, your dogs, your cats, or whatever, and times become scarce. You're used to going to the store and buying your kibbles and bits or whatever fancy feast or whatever
But when
the
it's
case may
not there
be.
anymore,
Right. And some people, they give their animals, their domestic animals, people food. Okay. They cook it for them. They probably eat better than a lot of Americans. Okay.
yeah, like my pitties, they eat a mix of kibble, but my like mom-in-law, she boils chicken legs, and she buys like the cheap stuff, and she, you know,
Yeah.
puts real meat in with her kibble.
Well, another audience question related to this was, all right, so dogs, how do we keep them fed? And what other first alarm animals are worth
Pedophiles.
having? So I turned to Brendan on this one since.
So I actually have not bought dog food for my dog in years. So he eats a I boil up and make my own dog food out of the offal out of the animals I butcher,
Mm.
and then also we trap. So trap raccoons, possums, anything that's getting into the chicken coop, skin them out, boil them up. That's dog food now. And then other than that, it's pretty much scraps from the house, rice, beans, meat. He does not care. He is a fat, very happy dog. um, he is also our first alarm in the sense that, I mean, he's on a lead that runs the entire length of the front of my property. And everyone always tells me, oh, you need to clip his claws. No, I don't. Because anybody who steps in my property is bleeding pretty quickly. you know,
I know
he
that from firsthand experience.
and it's one of those things that if something happens down the street, he lets me know. And it used to aggravate me because it's 1 o'clock in the morning and he starts going off, and you're like, man, I just want to sleep. And then you realize, oh shit, the dog's going
Yeah,
off.
he's
And
doing his job.
you jump up and run out. Now that it's been cold, my wife's been bringing him in, so he's been getting spoiled the last couple of weeks. But
Cold. It's Florida. It's not
right,
cold.
that's what I say. But yeah,
Well, it's made me curious because if you've read the Going Home series,
Yeah.
okay, by Angry American Chris Weatherman, Morgan has a set of dogs. Okay, I think there's like three of them, and they just kind of flop around. And I know in the middle of the series, there was a time where food was pretty scarce, and he was just letting the dogs go and forage for themselves. And so that makes me wonder. I'm like, okay, we have these dogs are great pets. They're domesticated. We feed them so they don't eat us. Okay, but in a times where food will be scarce, how many of these dogs are going to sit there and are they going to choose to either die because they've been domesticated and we're not feeding them, or are they going to start to chew on us,
A kid or something. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
like a child or.
or is their mentality going to change where they become more aggressive at the very least because they're hungry? And just because you were feeding them for so long, they loved you. Let's flip the script. Now they're going to look to you for food and you're not feeding them. They're going to become angry towards you. So that behavior in itself, okay, is something to be concerned about. And I don't think people in preparedness, again, with the chaos fantasy, well, I'm going to get me a couple of XYZ animals and they're going to gobble up anybody. Pit bulls, what's PJ got? Razorbacks or something?
Rhodesian Ridgebacks, the Anatolian Shepherds,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
those livestock guardian dogs.
Now, he got those dogs from, remember watching his videos and stuff for a specific reason. He takes care of them, but he's quasi self-sufficient up there. Okay? He has a tribal people. It's not just him, his sister Kate. And then they have other people that would come on in. So I think all these, millennials, say for example, with all their dogs in their apartments and condos, okay, going to Whole Foods to feed their animals, what are they going to do when the food runs out? Not only got to feed themselves, they got to feed their animals.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing be said for the people that have houses in suburbia. The rural ones, there's probably enough small game that they can go run around and catch a squirrel or something. This is what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That the domesticated animals are going to do, the ones that survive, they're going to go catch small game, or they're going to forage, somebody's trash for a little while, but who knows?
That's the good thing about dogs is they are omnivores, as opposed to cats, which are purely carnivores. And dogs over the last 20,000 years that they've been with us, they've really adapted to become more like us in terms of their teeth, their rear molars have changed and become more for grinding and plant, because of what we've been feeding them for the last 20,000 years, eating our scraps, which is not always meat. Cats on the other hand are the other white meat, but they are purely like carnivore. I mess with my cats here sometimes. It's like I'll be feeding the pigs, and I feed them. Of course, they're like regular pig feed on top of corn, all the stuff we throw away, and squirrels and whatnot, and everything else. But occasionally, like my cats will come up, they're hungry, so I'll toss them like some bread because they get bread from a bread vendor. They'll try the nom 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 nom, and they look at me like, "What is this shit?" It's like the pigs eat it. If you're hungry enough, you'll eat it. And they look at me like, "No, I won't."
No. And then they'll go and forage.
Yeah.
They'll
hunt the squirrels, which is good. They'll hunt the mice, the rats, the snakes.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Now, please remember to like and subscribe and share with your friends. We will see you next time.